Catching you up on the breaking news again. Instead of the Chief Justice of the United States, John Roberts, presiding over the president's upcoming impeachment trial, it will be the Senate President pro tem, Senator Patrick Leahy of Vermont, who will be presiding over that trial. Let's bring in our panel now, Matt Schlapp and Richard Fowler. First of all, Matt, let's go to you. The fact that it will not be the Chief Justice of the United States, but rather the oldest Democrat in the Senate, Senator Pat Leahy of Vermont. Rand Paul has suggested that anybody other than the Chief Justice would mean that this is an illegitimate proceedings. How do you see it?
Yeah, I do think the optics of it for the Democratic Party is mistaken. I think it'll look just more partisan. Pat Leahy is, a longstanding Democratic lion of the Senate, but he's a very partisan Democratic senator. And it certainly won't look like if there's any close calls that have to go to the chair, nobody on the Republican side is going to view it as some kind of nonpartisan observer.
Richard, what do you say about that?
Look, I think the Senate has to conduct this trial by the rules of the United States Senate. And because Donald Trump is not a sitting president, the rules of the Senate apply here. So this is where the oldest member of the United States Senate, and in the leading party, Pat Leahy, will take the chairmanship and lead this trial. I think there's no partisanship here. This is about getting accountability for what took place on January 6, 2021, when Donald Trump and his allies incited an insurrection on the United States Capitol and upon the People's House.
In making the announcement, Senator Leahy released a statement which says in part, quote, "The president pro tempore has historically presided over Senate impeachment trials of non-presidents. When presiding over an impeachment trial, the president pro tempore takes an additional special oath to do impartial justice according to the Constitution and the laws. It is an oath that I take extraordinarily seriously. I consider holding the office of president pro tempore and the responsibilities that come with it to be one of the highest honors and most serious responsibilities of my career. When I preside over the impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump, I will not waver from my constitutional and sworn obligations to administer the trial with fairness in accordance with the Constitution and the laws." Matt, the question was raised by Senator Cornyn as to whether or not Pat Leahy could be impartial because he would be a juror and he would preside over the trial. But it seems like he may take himself out of that. But just the fact that they're saying that impeachment trials of non-presidents, there's never been a president who has had a trial after they've left office. The non-presidents have been people who hold lesser office.
Yeah, and it's you don't use impeachment for people out of office. You definitely don't use it for presidents who are out of office. That's why this whole thing is going to be viewed as a waste of time by most people with common sense out there in the country. We have this huge problem. Donald Trump and his team was able to bring in rapid fire a vaccine to the American people, but it's hung up in these states, and it's quite frankly hung up in a lot of blue states. And we're reading every day about the problems with this vaccine. The problem with going forward with impeachment in the Senate is everything else stops. There's all this analysis about how the Senate can walk and chew gum and multitask. But according to the rules of an impeachment court case, everything else stops. Why the senators must sit in those chairs and go through this. And we're talking about weeks of time spent on stopping the political career of a president.
So what about the idea, Richard, that in a trial that is likely to end up with an acquittal, if we see Republicans moving away from the idea of convicting, and it is going to hold up President Biden's agenda, is this something the country should be doing right now?
There's a couple points here. Point number one, this is unprecedented that a non-sitting president's being impeached, but it's also unprecedented that a president of the United States, when he was a sitting president, incited a riot on the United States Capitol. Number one. And number two, I think we learned back in the impeachment in January, Donald Trump's first impeachment, that the Senate can walk and chew gum at the same time. There were hearings and a lot of other things that happened when the impeachment happened in January. So I don't think Matt is true. That's not a fact at all.
We will find out if the Senate can, in fact, walk and chew gum at the same time and where this is headed. Lots more to talk about, gentlemen. Unfortunately, not a lot of time to do it today, but we'll get you back here. Okay. We'll be right back. Stay with us.